Oh, well, Matondo Masaka, Elder. It's always such a blessing. There's always so much, and sometimes it's a little much for us, but that's why we have these presentations, so that way we can always look back on them through YouTube. And those of you who are watching through YouTube, please feel free to join us when the time is right. Um, but with that being said, we'll go ahead and we'll get into some of the questions in the comments. And so the way that works, if you don't know, please feel free to raise your hand, and then I'll go ahead and call on you and give you time. And so right now would be the time for any questions or comments that you may have had throughout the presentation. Please try to keep it to a minimum, just keeping in mind that we do have other people. We don't want to take too much of people's time, but now would be the time. So feel free to raise your hand, and the floor will be open unto you. Elder Kennedy, it looks like your hand is up. Time is given.
Yeah, I wanted to add a comment on the Indians are. The word India in the Bantu means one who is rich. Yeah, it also means those who plant maize. So the original Indians were from East Africa, and then they went to USA. That's why you hear of black Indians. The original Indians were black. So what happened that in order to destroy the history, in order to confuse the descendants, they copied the word India and transferred it into the Asia. So that's what I wanted to add. Two, the cycle in Bantu represent eternal life. That's why you have the round hearts in Africa. Yeah, the earrings are round. Yeah, it means eternal life, that which does not end. So that's what I wanted to add, just to spice up the understanding. Thank you.
Ingeta, Matondo Masaka, Elder Kennedy. Always so wise, always brings so much to the table. All the elders, Matondo for being here, and everybody else. As Elder Patrick had said, we all serve a role, and some of us are further ahead, some of us are further behind. Elder Patrick had mentioned before too. Let us not compare, and let us not complain. But we all serve a role. But thank you, Matondo Masaka. Brother Nick, it looked like you had your hand up, if I'm not mistaken.
I just want to add to everything in the presentation. I understand everything in that presentation because our people, as a Māori, right, we go through all these situations, and I've actually got some of these gifts. And I've had these gifts being passed on to me during my family generation. We have gifts and that has been passed on to us. So I know exactly what that presentation was about. So I just needed to add on to that to say that, I understood everything what he was saying and it resonated with me. I met someone a long time ago, and a few years back, that she was a woman and she had all the traits of exactly that, what was presented to us. So it's something that that I've been going through in my journey for the last probably 15 years. But I do have a great understanding of what's happening around that sort of thing, that subject anyway. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that I'm pretty aware of these things. Ingeta.
Ingeta. Matondo, Brother Luke. Brother Nick, Ruka Luke. Looking through here, it doesn't look like anybody else has any of their hands up, but I'll go ahead and raise my hand, and feel free to, even if you just have a comment, if it isn't something necessarily pertaining to the presentation, but pertaining to what somebody else says. But I'll go ahead and now I'll take the time to say what I would like to say. Matondo, Masaka, Elder Patrick for the presentation, for all the information, and for allowing you to be an instrument in this awakening, not only to serve a role in this Zoom session, but also to fulfill what your role is by King of Kings. There was a few comments that I wanted to make on a couple of things. I noticed how you mentioned something about the inorganic in the organic, and something that kind of resonated with me was that that's exactly what it is. The more that we become dependent and reliant on technology, the more we're being programmed. And you had mentioned before in another Zoom session, television is just that. And you mentioned how AI is inorganic magic. And that's exactly what it is when they use the television to tell you a vision. There's television programs because they're programming you. And if you don't think it's magic, if you look on your remote, there's a button called source that comes from sorcery. And so that's exactly what they're doing. And they're using this to give us information. And more often than not, even our cell phones are becoming our little television because they're giving us information and our critical thought disappears. The more inorganic we become, the more reliant on this technology we become, the less critical thought and the less we're able to touch the frequency that aligns with the Most High, where we're able to perceive, where we're able to understand, and where we're able to actually comprehend information that's apart from what the mass is being taught or told or programmed. Another thing that I wanted to add too was that you had mentioned, give me just a moment, let me see if I can find it. You have mentioned the wheels, within the wheels, and how they were trying to open up different realms. And something that had kind of pinned on me was that I remember seeing this wheel, and there's wheels inside of a wheel, and it's called Super Hadron Collider, and it's in the I think it's a country or a state. It's CERN, CERN, is where they have this giant Super Hadron Collider where it's wheels like this, but also it's on a flat plane, and they're trying to collide particles. And this is they say it's supposed to be the God particle, where they're trying to open up other realms and allow there to be a recreation of the Big Bang, as they say. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what it's doing, is kind of broadening or clashing these realms, so that way these spirits, the spirits of the Nephilim, are allowed to come back. Another thing that I wanted to mention too quickly is that more often than not, we're being told myth. And when you attach this phrase myth or mythology to something such as Sumerian myth or Greek mythology, we are programmed to think that that means that it's something fake. But they wouldn't teach us fake things in school. So, for example, with Greek mythology, we're told through 7th and 8th grade here in the United States, we're tested on all the Greek myth GODs. And if it wasn't true, there wouldn't be stories, statues, and then they're recreating it with AI and giving you here Poseidon on the Disney, or the Thor on the, and they're giving us all these. And so there has to be, it can't be myth. But when they, more often than not, when they attach the word myth to it, it immediately inside of our head, we associate it with being something that's fake, a fairy tale, our imagination. But you have to understand, in order to comprehend this information, they did that for a reason, where they attached mythology to get us to immediately dismiss it as being anything factual, when in fact there's a lot of truth that comes with it. And so anytime you say, or any of the listeners, anytime that Elder Patrick has mentioned Sumerian mythology, understand it's not a myth, because there's so much history that can back up this stuff from back in the day, and they're still continuing to replicate it. As he said, nothing new is under the sun. With that, again, I want to give thanks for the host. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing this information with us. It's a lot, but Matondo Masaka, and you can get that.
Matondo Masaka.
Ingeta Matondo Masaka.
I have a comment. I'm sorry, I couldn't raise my hand. Matondo Masaka, elder, for that. That was very, very deep. And what resonated with me in this was, you know, this is very deep, but it's also helping us to discover who we really are, and who we really are have been we have been hidden from our own selves. And when you go back to that, when you started out talking about that package, and that package being presented to you and revealed to you or opened up at a certain point in your life, this is very true. And so when you were talking about, what resonated with me was when you spoke about remember the memories. And that jumped out at me. Remember, connect the memories. The memories are like members. Each one of them must connect. We have to connect back. We have to get back to who we are, because the memories are all memories that must be reconnected, if that makes sense, in order for us to begin to understand and grab hold of these things again. And when I first came into the awakening, when you were speaking, I was reminded that one of the very first things, and I didn't even used to think about this prior to, but one of the very first things, that started coming to me was frequency, vibration, energy. And I was just, all of a sudden, I was like, what is this? What is this frequency? What is this vibration? And what is this energy? What is this all about? But the more I continue to come back to know who am I, the more these things and these concepts begin to make sense. And I can't wait till this video is posted so I can hear it again and glean more and more. So Matondo Masaka.
Ingeta Matondo Masaka Mama Matuzola. Wow, you know how much. There's so much information that we have to allow it to marinate, and we have to cycle back through it. The same with scripture. You know, you can't read something once and then expect it to stick. But, you know, if we continue to go back to it, we always learn something new. You can read the same scripture 2 or 3 times, and sometimes, you know, just like a diamond, if you turn it this way, sometimes it may look dull. Sometimes if you turn it this way, it glitters and gleams, you know. So, Matondo, looks like a daughter of the light, trust, and love. Sister Danny, time is given.
Matondo Masaka, Elder Patrick. This is very deep, even for me. I say this because Brother Patrick speaks of remembering, and this is something that I have been going through. That's the reason why I've been away from everybody, because how can I put it? I have been remembering, been having experiences. So everything that Brother Patrick is saying, I could, not everything, because it's very deep, but I would say at least 50% I can actually confirm of what he's saying. So my advice to the brothers and sisters, because this is really, really deep, is surrender. Surrender to life. Trust. Do not fear. Do not fear the unknown. Because let me tell you, it's painful. The process is slow. It's the more you resist, the more painful it could be, because you are deconstruct. How can I put it? You know, the Creator wants us to receive the truth. There is a process in the planet that is happening, and the Creator wants everybody to join, everybody to receive the blessings, to remember who they are, etc., etc. I don't know how else to put it. And so the process is going to happen whether you like it or not. So my advice is let go, surrender. Know that it's impossible to know everything. It's impossible for everything to be in the Bible. Yet Brother Patrick says that sometimes some individuals are able to see through the parables and the codes within the Bible. It's not me, definitely not me. I am a very organic person. I don't have this, the gift that Brother Patrick has, but that's my advice to you, brothers and sisters. Even I struggle. The truth is, I struggle myself. Sometimes I wonder, what's happening here? But when you dwell in the presence of unconditional love, when you're a seeker of truth, when you focus on being a being who wants to dwell in the concept of the fruits of the Spirit, if you become that energy, frequency, what Brother Patrick was speaking of, I guarantee you that the forces of darkness cannot come near you. So trust that whatever you're receiving, although it's so strange, so unusual, it is because you are growing as a being. Brother Patrick, I'm not sure if this is making sense, if it's okay what I'm saying, but to me, just family, it's impossible for everything to be in one book. Do not put the Creator in that book. Do not limit him or it, because it's a spiritual being, to the book. Don't limit the Nsambi to that book. You'll be making a big mistake, and you'll be left behind. You'll be slower than the rest. So if you surrender, you find that you will add all these gifts that the brother was speaking of. All these gifts come so natural that you're wondering if you're special, but you're not special. You're like everybody else. The difference is you're quicker, getting there quicker. Just let it happen organically, and you will find that, again, love is the key. My opinion, Brother Patrick, I say from a female perspective, maybe the male side is slightly different, but for me, love, trust that there is a force, that you have all these messengers protecting you, and you'll be okay. The darkness cannot come near you. Shatani, no. He needs to stand outside. He's not welcome here. I don't even have to say a word. He's not welcome here. So trust and surrender to life. I hope that made sense.
Yeah, it sure did, Sister Dania. It is always good to hear somebody who's going through that kind of scenario and able to be breaking it down, so it is assisting to others. Because the words that really pop out are, we are whom you're waiting on. We're waiting on every one of you here. We are waiting on you to really find that and really unveil yourself. So that's why in the end, it was, you have to know thyself. But the surrendering part is very big. The surrendering makes you understand that in this organic world and the inorganic world, in the inorganic world, you do not have total control of everything. You really will not have total control. There's some things you just can't control. because you are being in a position where you can control certain aspects. Remember that you won't have that. But for you to connect with source, you have to be in a positive energy force where you attract that energy. If you enter into a room and then you feel like you don't need to be there, you don't need to be there. If you're in a room where you feel that the frequency is picking up higher energy enough to empower you, then you need to captivate and drain that energy source. And Tata will work within you in building you on that. It is a beautiful thing that once you get the attributes that have been mentioned, telekinesis, clairvoyance, and all those attributes that we're talking about, you won't even brag. You really won't even brag, but you will be thinking of sharing that with somebody else. It will be a dream. I've seen a couple people here who have ascended to that level and are in that level. And when you see them come to fruition, it's a beautiful sight to see that Tata is actually now talking to them directly and now helping them. I'm just here to give you the message. This is the message. Hit download. That's the focus. That's the future. You know the future, but you have to understand there's a process between you and the future. And that process is, you're like Sister Danny says, you have to love. If you don't have that love in you, how are you going to go through it? You have to ask it. Now, you have to go back to Simeon Toko. The things that he was doing were a combination of energy, frequency, and vibration. His reincarnations were energy, frequency, and vibrations. He was trying to let you know that. But your minds were more on the, I would say it was asleep enough to see. That's why when he tried to explain it to you, he couldn't explain it. You couldn't understand it. You would put it on the basis of what you saw on television. And hence, when you see that, oh, what is to come is because television has told you so. And I've told you several times, the news lies, but in the movies, they tell you the truth. The avatar is the way it happened in the beginning. A Journey to the Center of the Earth is the same type of movie. If you look up James Byrd, the colonel from the US, 1945, he went on an expedition to the is it the South Pole here? I think he was going after that. Listen to his military account, Colonel James Byrd, and he will give you an account. And he said it, that what will come in the future will not be something that that will actually be something that we comprehend. It is there today, and we're waiting for it. Let's not use fear to control our feelings when we are in front of them. If we are doing that, then we're not committing to Tata at all. We are simply saying, I can take a little bit of Tata, I can take a little bit of this organic world. You have to give fully and give your life fully. And then he will operate within that. You will see everything unveiling. But remember, don't take the loneliness as a way of Tata has forsaken me. He's putting you through a phase. And after that phase is done, you are prepared.
Ingeta Matondo Masakai. Sister Danny, for everything that you've shared, and then obviously Elder Patrick Matondo, always. Looking through the chat, Sister Danny, I noticed your hand is still up. Was there something you wanted to reply with, or is that just because you had to put it down?
Yeah, I do have a question.
Go ahead. I'm just kidding.
Okay, so Brother Patrick, how can the brothers and sisters, according to your knowledge, how can they become that organic? How can they remember? how can they remember? How can they become this organic being that you're speaking of, that eventually we acquired all the gifts, the talents that they will acquire in order to use it for future. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And I think I did a session. I think Mama Matizola was one time, the one that was so deep, Mama Matizola, that we had a meditation on it that was focused on this, because it mentioned a lot of isolation and the things that you are going to experience that you will need, because I think a great many times people are using the inorganic feelings, the love that you talked about is the human love. And you want to understand Tata's love, which is much more different than what Hollywood has shown us, that this is the love that we need to give. So you have to understand love on a different level than what we humans understand it to be. So, and I think what I'll do here in this case is I will have to put it down as I've done in the past on the chat, to specify these are the areas that you need to work on in terms of trying to outturn that. So I can't put in words, but I have to type it out and then I send it out, and then so people can follow that path in outturning that.
Ingeta.
Ingeta. Matondo Masaka for your question, Sister Danny, and also for your response, Elder Patrick. Taking a look through the chat, I'm not noticing any other hands. Please feel free, any comments, any questions, even if you just want to give thanks. It's always good to be able to hear other people's voices on here. Sometimes it helps us to brainstorm, and sometimes that's how the Mwanda starts flowing, you know. Elder Kennedy, it looks like your hand is up. Time is given.
Yeah, I wanted to add that if you read the Bible, specifically the book of Joshua, it talks of AI. And I don't know whether it's a coincidence that we have AI and we had AI at town during that time. But what I can remember is that when we tried to conquer AI, we were defeated. And the reason why we were defeated is that one of us was very selfish. He wanted to gain the whole world. Yeah? And he disobeyed the commandments of the Most High. And I see the same repeating itself now, that some of us, we better be rich with AI than obey the Most High. The town of AI, the guys there defeated us, and we were able to narrow to the person who was selfish. I think the best way to be organic is to be unselfish. 2 is the food we eat. Yeah, we eat scientifically modified food, enhanced food. What you eat, you become. If you want to be organic, eat organic. Thank you.
Ingeta. Oh, Matondo Masaka. You know, it says in scripture that Nzambi Mpungu's decrees, laws, and statutes will make wise the simple. And very obvious, you want to be organic, eat organic. Elder Kennedy, how wise you are. Matondo Masaka. Looking down the line here, I'm not seeing anyone else. Oh, Brother Nick, looks like you just threw your hand up. Time is given. Brother Nick, your mic is on mute. Sorry.
Madono Masaka family. I just wanted to point it out a few things that I've been studying lately. It's the spirals over in where is it, in America, in the United States at the moment, out there in Arizona. And the ancient Native Indians there, they have these a whole mountain ridges and mesas, and they have these spirals, and they tell these stories on these big massive rocks and stuff like that about all the beings that have been coming through the portals and been going back in, and that's still happening today. As I know, that's been happening today. I think within connection with this thing called Skinwalkers, but it's out in Skinwalker Ranch there. So a lot of that I've been studying is especially with the spirals, different beings coming through different realms through the spirals out in there in Skinwalker Ranch, and there's another ranch out there, but that whole mesa out there in the where the Native Indians actually live, they know all the stories that goes on there and all the ancient happenings that actually happened out there beforehand. So I just wanted to point that out. And another one I wanted to point out was the ancient, some of the ancient structures that have been found are also, you can tell there's like spirals in these ancient structures that have been found at certain ancient old ancient places that were once occupied. And that's the sort of thing I was connecting with what Brother Patrick was going on about. And not only that, when you go there, if you have a camera and you take a picture of those of the different beings that they've drawn on those rocks, if you put two of those pictures together, you will actually see a being that's been on that rock with two eyes with an actual face in it. And they're actual beings that are being presenting themselves. But what that person had done was like he was going through a process as well. And I think he was a photographer, and he took all these photography of it, but there was something that came to him in mind. So he put these two pictures together, and boom, what do you do? There were beings that came out of it, and I could see it myself. It was on TV. I could see it myself, but a lot of that is relating back to what Patrick was saying too. And that's why I'm saying that I think all these years from my own family, I think I've been going through this process of preparing myself. And and I don't think it's a mistake. There's a reason why I'm actually here with my Bantu family. So this all has connections to my own gene. Wadono Masaka.
Yeah, that was very interesting, Brother Luke. And I think you were touching on the Hopi Indians in Arizona, who have actually have a wealth of literature on the people in there. So it is nothing short of what has been described. The sparrows are essentially what Brother Mimi mentioned about the CERN, the one that's based in Switzerland, the one that has been trying to use that. Have you seen it? It's because it's like a prana shooting through solid matter, and then it's traveling at that speed enough to form that spiral as it goes through. So it is that spiral that you're seeing. So the portals are open, they've been open. And so it is a movement of back and forth. Now, what we are trying to see is which ones are coming in and which ones are going in. What happened before is that before the portals closed, some remained here. Some remained here and are the ones that have been running the way things are run. And now everything is crumbling because their time is up. So everything has a reason why. So if you go to the Egyptian artifacts in the tombs, you will see that both a helicopter is already on the tomb. It's already drawn on the tomb. So that means in our past, we used to have it. Now, if this generation here is wiped out with a flood or a fire, how would you tell that you guys were technologically advanced? You wouldn't. There's no way that you can tell, because they will be picking up pieces of cups and pieces of this and indicating that it was archaeological. In fact, we were more advanced than what it is said because of what we had. So our job is to stay focused and stay on message and listen to how we're supposed to guide. Too much knowledge sometimes can be very disturbing for a mind that is going through a transformational change. What I ask you to do is to get something that gives you something to lean on in the case that you become doubting that the messages that you've been listening to are actually fabricated. It is to you to strengthen yourself on this journey as you go. Do not take everything that you get, but you're going to take the sound bites of that list. Like Mama Martizola said, I started remembering with source and connecting with source. That's the part she took out. Take the part that you need to take out and then move on. If you condense too much information on yourself, you will get a lot of confused in the process as well.
Ingeta.
Ingeta.
Tondo Masaka. Wow, now the Muanda is starting to flow. Matondo Tatanzamiam Pungu. Looks like Sister Danny, your hand is back up. Time is given.
Sorry, guys. I have many questions. Right, okay. So, Brother Patrick, I have one question to see if I really understand. First of all, will you be posting your teaching on the WhatsApp? Because sorry.
That's traditional, I think. I'm not sure,
Okay.
but I'll leave that to Brother Samba and Brother Mimi to organize that.
Okay. Let's see if I understand. You're saying that there are 4 races, and the race that belongs to the earth is the Anunnaki. Would I be
Yes.
correct to say that? So there's 4 races, 4 elements, each one for every race in the universe. Earth belongs to humanity and is related to the Anunnaki. And the universe is composed of 4 stations. Earth, was it Earth? No, air, earth, water, and fire.
Correct.
Correct?
Okay, so you are right in what you're saying. What I'm essentially saying is there are 4 realms. 4 realms.
Oh,
That's
realm.
4 concentric circles. And those 4 realms are 12 worlds in those realms. 3 in each realm. 3 in each realm. And those 3, that's where you have the Geminian. The Geminian is the one that is actually occupying the one that they suspect to be Atlantis. Remember that, the one that we don't have. If you really use your Google Earth and go to Atlantis and try to see Antarctica, try to see there, it blurs out. They don't allow you to go anywhere. You can't see below that. But James Byrd went there. Colonel James Byrd went there. So listen to him and he will tell you exactly what it is. So that's the Eden. That's where we left. That's where we were kicked out of. That's the center of the earth right there. So it's 4 realms, 12 worlds, 12 zodiac races. In each realm, it's a zoo. Those circles that you see on there are zoos. And those are what people are, different type of people on there. Instead of saying 3 races, but it's different type of people in there. So each realm has different, but for you to travel from a different realm to a different realm, you can only use that through dreams. You only dream and then you can be in that realm and then you come back. But you have to seize, remember, be careful with the dreams because you can get lost. If you are not strong enough, you can get lost. So those are the ones. And so each 3 worlds in each realm. I will have to do it different. It's a whole topic, and I don't want to go into that area right there because it will lead you somewhere else.
That's good enough. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ingeta, Matondo Masaka, for your question and for your response, Elder Patrick. It looks like there was another hand that may have been put down. I'll go ahead and take this time, just a moment, to I wanted to address a few things as well that kind of resonated with me. Now, Brother Luke, you had mentioned how you went back to the circles and how they were on rocks. And when you were mentioning that, the Mwanda placed it upon me that I was doing a little bit of a study in the book of Mark, and it's actually Mark chapter 8, verses 22 through 25. But just briefly, it was his eyes were closed. The man's eyes were closed, and Kusua Kongo came up to him, and he had spit in his eyes, and he had put his hands upon his eyes, and he asked him, and he said, "Can you see?" And he said, "I see." And he said, but as he looked up, and he said, "I see men as trees walking." And that kind of resonated with me, because then Isaiah 65, verse 22, Patan Zambi says, "They shall not build and another inhabit, they shall not plant and another eat, for as many days of a tree, so shall be the days of my people." And I'm a lumberjack. That's what I do for a living, cut down trees, and not in excess. I don't work for a commercial industry, so I'm not here to, I'm not one to destroy the earth, but we do hazardous stuff. And when you cut down a tree, on the inside of a tree, there's actually rings, and these rings can be used to identify, or at least give you some sort of indication as to how long the length of the tree is. Based upon each ring coming from the center, there will be rings all the way out to the outside, and it's upon each ring is approximately 10 years of age. And so this is just something that resonated with me upon what Brother Nick was mentioning, kind of to go full circle, no pun intended. And then another thing too is that Sister Danny, you had mentioned how you had asked Elder Patrick how we can identify. I don't remember exactly how you worded it, but it was something along the lines of how we can identify, how we can come to who we are, and to how we can be able to find our purpose in this awakening. One thing that was resonating with me that the Mwanda was giving me is that the same way that this is a tool, this is a tool. Now you can find things in this, and you can implement them, and it will slowly start to cause you to know Nzambi Mpungu, but also this is how you submit to him when you find out what he wants, and then you become and align yourself with this. The word starts to bear good fruit inside of you, and then things start to open up. You start to unlock things within you. In the same regard, if you're on this can be used as a tool where you can find information about Sumerian texts or Sumerian mythology, about CERN, about other things, or this can be used for entertainment. And if you understand the words, this is a tribute to Nongi Mello, Pastor Mello, my spiritual papa, Mello. He had said linguistics unlock the keys to so many things. And if you understand the language, you understand a lot more that's hidden under the surface. And so the form of entertainment, going along this line with your phone or your television, entertainment consists of 3 words, and it's to enter, to contain, mente. And mente is your mind. This is along the lines of government. Gubernar mente means control mind. So entertainment is to enter your mind, to contain your mind. And this is what happens when we allow this, when we're too involved in your cell phone. The same with this. This enters your mind. This can contain your mind, and then it can start to bear fruit, the light, or this can enter your mind and contain your mind and bear fruit with the darkness. If you look at the forms of entertainment, we have movies, music, and video games, and all of which are putting out, promoting, and encouraging darkness. And we see it in forms of violence and all this lewd and filthiness. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to be able to understand that the music is the music that's being portrayed out of Hollywood, it's all, once it entertains your mind, once it contains you, it slowly starts to program you. And so people will be talking about alcohol before you know what you're drinking. You know, the movies will be projecting all these things. And a prime example is they would open up the door, honey, I'm home. And then before you know it, you're going, honey, I'm home. And so you're being programmed by it. And so it's important to understand that what we put in, we get out. And so when you allow certain things into your eyes, when you allow certain things into your mouth, certain things into your ears, slowly this starts to manifest within you. And then you put out what you let in. If you're listening to junk music, chances of you walking along that path, it's bound to happen. I mean, the creator in the beginning, first he spoke. And when we speak things, slowly our body will start to follow it. And so if you say, I'm going to submit to you Nzambi Mpungu, I'm going to do these things, and then you start, rehearsing his commandments, your body slowly starts to come into accordance with that. Whereas if you say, I'm going to drink alcohol, and you're singing these songs, before you know it, you'll be, slowly partaking in the things that the songs are talking about, or the movies, or the video games that we're playing. So I just wanted to kind of touch on that, because I think it's extremely important to understand that what we put in will be projected out. And so we have to use these tools to benefit Nzambi Mpungu and to benefit us, to align ourselves with him. These can be used in a good way, but if we rely on technology and AI for forms of entertainment, chances of us finding out who we are in this, it's not bound to happen. You can only find out who you are in scripture if you continue to wash yourself with the word. And so with that, I'll pass it along. So get the
Matondo Masaka.
Matondo. All right, let's look at here. I'm not seeing any more hands. I'll give one more roll call, if you will. If anybody would like to, feel free to chime in, a comment, question, to give thanks. You can feel free to do so now. One more call, and I'm not seeing nothing, which is okay. With that being said, we'll go ahead and wrap up. I want to give thanks again for the service. Thank you for the host, Brother Benika, Brother Tusamba, for allowing this to be possible. For all the people who are, they're pivotal in this, Elder Patrick, and then all the people who have been here from the beginning, and all the newcomers. We appreciate everybody who's here. And with that, we'll go ahead and also thank
Nimi, not to interrupt you, but let's give final words to Tusamba.
Yes, thank you for reminding me. Final words to Tusamba, or Elder Patrick as well, but Tusamba, the floor is yours.
Matondo Masaka. Luvuva Moon.
Yalla!
Fana Nzambe.
Yalla.
Luvuva Moon.
Yalla!
Yalla.
Matondo Masaka. Family. Please forgive me about my background noise. So before we move on, we just want to say, family, we give all the honors and temple to Tata Nzambi Mpungu Tulendo, the one who have made us possible to come once again here in this beautiful and amazing family. And for the first time, Brother Nimi, you have done an amazing work to be the MC. Family, I would like to ask you for us to thank what our Mpang has done. Today, Mayamona taught us a very important lesson for us to thank. Many people nowadays don't have this ability to say to one person, thank you anymore. So when somebody does something good, you have to be very humble to admit and say to the person, thank you. We are not worshiping him or making him to be higher than Nzambi, but it's a community. It helps us to be positive as well. So Matondo Masaka, Panginim, To our elder Patrick, oh my goodness. It has been a long and a beautiful and amazing experience to have such wise elders among us. They say if you want to go further, don't walk alone. Have your elder always beside you. You know why Isolele, when Solomon king left and then another king came to rule Isolele, it got divided. It was because that king didn't hear the elders' advice. We have to be different. We have our elders, our elder Patrick, Kennedy, Mutav, and so on. We have to take them very nicely. Wow. Elder Patrick, where are we now? Matondo Masaka. May Nzambi Mpungu Tulendo keep on blessing you, empowering you, giving you more wisdom to come and make us to be in another spiritual level. I wish we could have a lot of young people here today because my Bible is very old. So many young people think that in the Bible there is no technology. They think Bible is an old book, there is nothing good, it's all in the past. But today, our elder Patrick, full of wonder, came to make us understand that in the Bible there is technology, and Tata Nzambe is the creator of everything. Another great thing that I would like to bring out here today, because many Bantu Sodalene don't like to use technology. They say it is evil, that's all. No, family. Everything came from Nzambe. When our elder was giving us that example of Ezekiel measuring those great calculations, how come they were able to do those? And we're still using this as well. If it wasn't possible Zoom to be here today, I couldn't never be able to meet my elder Patrick. Technology. So our mom Matuzola always says, it will depend where and who is using it. AI, artificial intelligence, is good, but it will depend who is using, who is developing, who is creating it. Elder Patrick is giving us a challenge now as well for us young and for all of us here, because Toko is young forever. Our Elder Patrick is young forever. When we go to university to work and in the industry, the world is moving very fast, family. Those who are into technology, it is our responsibility to design our own AI for our good. Because Kadian Pemba is designing his artificial intelligence for the good. It's our responsibility here on earth to design and create the kingdom of Nzambe according to Tata Nzambe, bringing all those devices for Nzambe people. It's our responsibility. Nothing is new under the sun. Matondo Masaka, once again, for everybody who came here. Thank you for your time, for your patience. Thank you for all your contribution. I just want to go as well to give my point of view to Sister Danny's question. Elder Patrick answered it very well. Once again, Matondo Masaka. And Brother Nimi was just out of the blue, connected with me, stealing some of information that Zambia was downloading. It's good when we are all connected. Sister Dani, if I'm not mistaken, she was asking, how can we become more organic to use our spiritual gift or to be connected once again to Tatanzamba and Pungo to land? That's my only scripture that I would like to share today here, family. Sister Dani, can you help me? You
Yes,
know
of course.
why we love so much Sister Dani? When she's not understanding something, she doesn't go home and stress herself. She asks. Family, feel free. This is our home. Mama Margaret is back. Your hand was up before you went out.
Yeah, my phone overheated again, so I had to go and cool it off. I wanted to ask Brother Patrick about like explain the vibration and frequency. Like there was a time like somebody, but they're speaking, but I will hear their thoughts like like, oh my gosh, what if they don't know I'm hearing what they're saying, right? And concerning the vibration, I think. So I will hear this song. I can explain like, I will be hearing this like it's a strong vibration in the house. Like, yeah, I will hear this vibrating song, and I can't explain it, and it's not frightening. So I just want to know to ask him if it's that is the vibration from where? From Tanzania or something, because so I asked my daughter, I said, you don't hear this song? You don't hear this vibrating song? And she said, no. So apparently I alone, I'm hearing the song. It's very strong and it's vibrating, but it's not something frightening. And yeah, and something I can hear people when they were canted for that. They was thinking like, okay, you're funny or something. But I asked my daughter, you don't hear this, you're not hearing that, but I will hear it. So I want them to explain what it is I'm really hearing, this strong vibration. Yeah. It surrounds me, this strong vibration.
Thank you, Brother Samba. Thank you, Mama Margaret. Not knowing exactly what from the description that you give, but I think it's the Ark of the Covenant, not the Ark of the Covenant. The what is that? That is still missing. Is it the Ark? It is the Ark, Brother Samba. The Ark. The Ark. Yeah, the Ark was a drum. The drum, Ngomangundi. It's a drum, and the vibrations that come from the drum when it's played, the vibrations that you receive, it has to be to a certain frequency of 432 megabytes, I think, for the body to be receptive to the vibration, and that adds balance to the body. So the body has to take that. If you go into a place and you're listening to music and the music is irritating you, then the vibration is wrong, and that is not connecting with you. When you feel the drum, that's why you see on the continent you have people dancing to the drum. It's because the vibration is resonating with the people there. So having said what you said, it's hard to say that your vibration is geared towards that, but your vibration is geared to a certain level, and you have to recognize which one is ideal for you and which one is different, because my vibration may be different from your vibration. So I can't give you a definitive answer on that one.
Wow. Matondo Masaka, once again, Elder. And Pange Benika was also sending his gratitude for the teaching, even though he's preparing for his exam, which I would like also to ask you, family, please, family, Let us pray for Pang Benika for his exam to go very well. So, the chapter that I would like to our sister Matondo Masaka, Mama Margaret, for the question. I hope our elder explained it very well.
But
Yes, Mama Margaret.
no, I'm saying to him that when he's around us, in the midst of us, Brother Patrick, he could feel his energy. It is very, very strong. Yeah.
Lovu Vamun.
Yalla.
Yala.
Yalla.
Allah.
Mama Margaret is not the only one. I also feel that. Tondo
Yeah.
Masaka, whatever is in you, Elder Patrick, please keep it.
No, we want some. Whatever is in him, we want some.
He's already giving us. But
I know, I want some more.
Wisdom.
I want some more.
You want it more? Come more.
Sorry, family, for the joke. Sorry.
And something I like so much in our elder is very humble. Our elder is very humble. And humbleness is one of the greatest spiritual level of them, being humble. You attract all the power of Zambian Pungu in you. Also, time is flying. Book of John, chapter 15. Sister Dani, how you doing? You're gonna help me. John 15, verse 1 until 12, but go slowly.
So, John 15, 1 to 12. I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. Every branch in me that bears no fruit, he takes away, and every branch that bears fruit, he prunes, so that it bears more fruit. You are already clean because of the word which I have spoken to you. Stay in me, and I in you. As the branch is unable to
Sorry,
bear,
Sister Dan, stay what?
you already clean because of the word which I have spoken to you. Stay in me, and I in you.
That is the first step. Stay in me, and I will stay in you. The first step. Yes, sister.
As the branch is unable to bear fruit of itself unless it stays in the vine, so neither you, unless you stay in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. He who stays in me and I in him, he bears much fruit.
You see, Elder Patrick have said or have shared that, I think it's already 3 months, if I'm not mistaken. Everybody have a package that needs to open. And Sister Dan today is giving us the key to unlock this package. What is the key, Sister Dan?
To stay with Tatansambi so we can bear fruit.
You see, stay in Tatanzambe and you bear more fruits. Stay close to him. Don't run away. Come much closer to him. Be moshi with Nzambi and Pungu to learn. Let's go.
Because with me, you're able to do naught.
Luvu Vamun.
Yalla.
Yalla.
You see?
If anyone does not stay in me, he is thrown away as a branch and driven out. And they gather them and throw them into the fire, and they are born. If you stay in me and my word stays in you, you should ask whatever you want, and it shall be done for you.
Luvuva Mungu.
Yalla.
Step. Stay in me and my words remain in you. Brother Anta gave a great example. That's why I said he was stealing whatever Nzambi is downloaded as well. This has to be in you, not just your cell phone, but the word of Nzambi Mpungu to land. When you have the word of Nzambi Mpungu to land to family, and you know it perfectly, you can unlock anything, family. He said, you're gonna ask and you shall be given. You can ask anything, family. It is a time that you should start using your spiritual weapon to get whatever you want. But the requirement is what Elder Patrick said today here in this teaching. Remain in Nzambi Mpungu and know the word of Nzambi Mpungu. Eat it. You should eat it. Let's go, Sister Dana.
Chapter 8. In this my Father is esteemed, that you bear much fruit, and you shall be my disciples. As the Father has loved me, I have also loved you. Stay in my love. And if I may interrupt, this is like we were, Brother Patrick was saying, it's not the love of the world, it's a different kind of love. So it's the true unconditional love, no conditional love. So forgive me, December, for interrupting. So chapter 10. If you guard my commandments, you shall stay in my love, even as I guarded. Oh, hold on. Oh, sorry, I start again. If you guard my commands, you shall stay in my love, even as I have guarded my Father's commands and stay in his love. This I have spoken to you, so that my joy might be in you, and that your joy might be complete. This is my command, that you love one another as I have loved you.
Luvuva Mungu.
Yalla.
If you just scroll down to 16 and say, you didn't choose me, I chose you. I appointed you last Sunday. Feel like doing continuation. Elder Patrick wasn't here, but Nzambi revealed to him the same thing. Stay in me and you bear more fruits. And the last commandment is that love one another. This is our challenge, family. Elder Patrick was used today to challenge us to bear fruits. Those fruits have to be visible, loving one another. My brother Nick sent me a message saying, hey, Brother Tusamba, I love you so much. I said, wow, deep. I love you so much as well, Brother Nick. I love you so much as well, Isolele. We shouldn't be afraid to say to your brother, I love you. But we have to show it as well. Because Nzambi Mpungu Tulendo told us, love each other in the same way you love yourself. So Matondo Masaka for your time. As we go out from the Zoom, share love, bear more fruits, be connected with Nzambi Mpungu Tulendo. Let what Elder Patrick said in us, to us, be something good frequency, energy, vibration, they're all in us. Matondo Masaka, Elder Patrick, we hope that will be the third part, fourth, and so on. This is not the last one. We are waiting for more. And Zambian Pungo bless us all. Isolele, unakumba se, yomwana, yomwanda, belela, ingeta.
Ingeta.
Ingeta. Matondo.
Masaka.
Elder Patrick, did you want to add anything? You look like you have something you want to say.
Oh, I don't want to add anything. I think what needs to be said has been said. Those that want further information, that are wanting more deeper information, I will give it. We have to give it in incrementals instead to certain people so that they can walk the walk. And so I just want to thank everybody that came out and that are inspiring enough to come out and listen to this message. It is really information that is out there that Tata Nzambe wants us to know, because our people our faults are due to lack of knowledge. This information has been there, and it's information that needs to reawaken us to be strong again. We are very powerful people, and I think we need to get back to being powerful again through the help of Nzambe. That's what we need to do, and that's where we're headed. And I can't do it by myself, so I need Solele also to be on the side. Then we are strong in numbers, so not by myself. So that's all I can say. Ingeta.
Ingeta.
Ingeta. Yalla.
Luvuvamu.
Yalla.
Yala.
Yes, what a beautiful presentation. What a powerful message. And I feel the presence of Benika, even though he's not here. I heard him speaking to Elder Patrick, where he said, once upon a time, that we are like a wall. We are all the bricks in the wall. And the water can't get through the wall when we're all here. But the moment you remove one of those bricks, not only does the water get through, but it begins to weaken the other bricks. And so we all have a place here. We all have a role. And Proverbs 27:17 says it the best: as iron sharpens iron, so one man's supposed to sharpen another. So let us continue to sharpen each other. With that being said, we'll go ahead and close out unless there's any last comments. I'll go through the ringer. Like there's anyone. All right. Well, with that, we'll go ahead and close out in the way that we usually. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have Mama Margaret Scott? You have a.
Yes, I wanted to not really ask, but Sunday, the 21st, when he had to travel, he was to present something, but I was coming to present anything. And the topic was life and death. When I woke up from my bed, I stood up, I heard ask Patrick about the Book of Life, but he didn't come, and wow, yeah. He didn't came. He had to travel. He came out for a little while, and he went. But I didn't know the topic was going to be life and death. But all I heard, I asked Brother Patrick the Mwanda about the Book of Life. So that is what I wanted to tell him about. I didn't get to ask him about it because he didn't make it down.
In a short response, Margaret, the Book of Life is real.
Yeah, I was it was to explain the Book of Life because the topic was life and death that day, but it could make it down
I will have it
to present.
Yeah, it will be something I can do that for you in one of the prayer meetings, and we can go through that, and I'll prepare something for you.
Okay.
Matondo. We look forward to that, Elder Patrick, so we're going to hold you to that. All right. Well, with that, daughter of light, trust, and love, Sister Danny, you have your hand up. Please, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I want to say something. I don't know if this is technology or what it is, but this is not the first time I've seen this. Brother Tusamba's eyes are purple. His eyes are purple. I do not know if this is technology or if anybody else has seen this. Rosa's laughing. I've seen this before, and like I say, I am a person who's very organic, so I see things and I don't understand. So everybody's eyes are normal apart from Tusamba. He looks like an alien. I don't know if this is technology or it's something to do with, the Danzambi and Wando Valela, but I thought to mention, it's not the first time because he knows I told him. In fact, there was one time, I'm going to say it now because it has to be said, because we can't just keep, we are 90, like Benika said, we're 90% spiritual and 10%, however it works. And one time there was Tusamba, Rosa. Can I say it, Tusamba? Is it okay?
Yes.
Is it okay, Sister Rosa?
Yes, it's okay.
This is for the Gloria to Danzambi, okay? So there was one time there was Tusamba, there was Sister Rosa, there was grandfather, Sister Rosa, was it your dad? Was it your dad?
Yes. Grandpa to some.
And I think they were in different rooms. At least there was 3 different computers. And each one of them, I can see the purple. Like Tisamba's eye were purple, Sister Rosa, I can't remember, and their dad as well. And I was like, is it something to do with maybe in Africa, the technology, the computers? I don't know, but I don't see a Sister Rosa today. Sorry, Sister Rosa. I don't see in you today, but I see in Tusamba. His eyes are so purple, it's unbelievable. It's like a blue, purplish, dark color. It's in between. So I thought to mention, because I don't understand it. It may be the computer technology, I don't know, but I thought to mention.
It's the royalty.
What's that, Brother Patrick?
Purple is royalty.
I kind of thought that. I wasn't sure. Very good.
Yes.
What's happened to you, Sister Rosa, today? I don't see it. I don't see you today.
Okay.
Anyway, so I thought to mention.
And yet, as Elder Patrick had said, we all know, and if you don't, purple in scripture is an indication of royalty. And as we know, Ubuntu, you're royalty. So it should shine, whether it's now or sometime in the future, your eyes will be purple if they aren't yet. So with that, is there any last comments? No? Okay. With that, we'll go ahead and close out. If I'm not mistaken, this will be the time where we'll go ahead and give thanks, and we do so with claps of 3. And we say, Munankumba se, Yomwana Velela. Matondo Masaka, Matondo Tatanzamya Mpungu for this opportunity. I kind of wish that Brother Benika was here so he could do his when I sound like Kiambote. I don't know how he does it, but you guys' songs. Elder Patrick, the song that you gave this earlier today, I tried to record it, but I couldn't get it in time, so I'm gonna need you to sing that for me sometime. But other than that, this will be the time where we're heading out. So, Salakiambote, and please, we hope to see you next time.
The last prayer, please.
I'm sorry. Yes. Yes, let us close in prayer. So, is there anybody that would like to close us out in prayer?
Can give to Elder Patrick to finish.
Elder Patrick, I'm sorry, but you've been chosen.
Let us pray. Tatanzambe, mfumu yatu, Moyamona, we come before you today at a day when you have set this task for us. The information keeps flowing, Tatanzambe. Let it be that this is your message, that is your will. If it is the will of our journeys and our separate lives, let it be that we put this information to our use so that you can stay within us and we stay within you. Allow us to manifest, open our hearts and our minds in the midst of everything that we see around us happening. Let us not be discouraged. Let us lean on one another for the support that you left us here. Strengthen our hearts and our minds as we look to the leadership that has bestowed us. We have not forsaken you. We keep hammering on the journey that you gave us. Open our eyes for wisdom. Open our eyes for faith and love, the love that this world has never experienced before. As we go about on our ways, we ask you that you watch over us, protect us, and bring us back once again as we gather to strengthen our souls in frequency, vibration, and energy. We ask this, Nakumba say, Namwana, Namanda Velela, Ingeta.
Ingeta. Matondo Masaka.
Ingeta. All right, family. We'll head out. Salakiambote, please come back for the next teaching. Don't miss out.
Matondo
We hope
Masaka.
that you come. Matondo.
Banzajulu mwezela pange kota tudisole tuzelese otishima
Pange tuzelese omishima Pange tuzelese omishima
Alajano wayo lungu ya Jesu ya nzumbi Mundu kitena kuimona
Omundu kitena kuimona Omundu kitena kuimona
Pange ngongo ya tema tusomba baba nzumbi Kulengele kumatuta
Pange tulengele kumatuta Pange tulengele kumatuta